Hey, thanks so much for coming over. I know you've been wanting a nice hair treatment for a little while. And I've got my beauty final coming up, so I thought it might be good for me to practice. I know you've got some dyed hair, so that'll be really good for me to practice on. Dyed hair can get a little bit damaged and sometimes needs some treatments to help it stay strong. But your hair looks like it's in really good condition. I'm just gonna kind of test it. Just testing the strength of some of the strands. They seem really strong. That's great. Just a few more spots. Yeah, really good. And your ends too. They don't look too bad. They're actually looking pretty healthy. Do you get your hair cut regularly? Yeah. Okay, well, I'm gonna start by just seeing how oily your scalp is. That'll kind of determine what products I should use and kind of how we should approach your treatments. So I'm just going to grab my comb. This will help me kind of part your hair just like this. And I've got these nice blotting pages. These I'm just gonna rub into your hair, okay? And it'll show any oil or lack of oil that your scalp has, and that'll help us determine what kind of scalp you have. Just opening this up, pulling out a page. Gently rubbing along the part. I'm just going to comb another section here, just like that. Just testing there. Getting a few areas so we can really get the full picture here. Just gently separating your hair, pulling it over. And a few spots maybe on this side. Just combing that over. And just blotting here. So it looks like you have a pretty dry scalp. This can sometimes happen if you're using too harsh of a shampoo. Yeah. And sometimes you can kind of get like kind of oily, so you wash it away and that leaves you dry, which in turn kind of makes more oil, which can be a really vicious cycle. So yeah, we're just going to use some real gentle products today. Nothing that irritates your scalp or dries it out too much. So I'm just going to start by wetting it. Just getting a little bit of moisture in between the layers here. Just really trying to get it moisturized. This will make the hair a little easier to work with as well. Just putting some warm mist back here. Okay. Starting to get some moisture in it now. And just remember, it's going to look worse before it starts looking better. So just spraying this. Get this side a little bit more. Yeah, this warm mist feels so good. Okay. So now just getting the back. Making sure everything is evenly saturated. Getting over here. Great. Okay. So now that we've got a little bit of moisture going, what I'm going to do is just inspect a little bit more of your scalp, okay? So I'm just going to scratch at your scalp. Just scratching in there. Do you get an itchy scalp at all? Sometimes. Alright, and just let me know if any of this is uncomfortable for you. If it's at all uncomfortable, you can always go gentler or just stop completely. So just let me know so I can make it as relaxing for you as possible. So just itching, kind of getting a better look. Your roots all look really healthy. Your new hair is growing in. How often are you getting it re-dyed? Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. As long as they're not having to re-bleach the same areas many times. A lot of people kind of go for the dark color and then the next week they want a light color again, and that can be really damaging to your hair, especially when you have long hair like this. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with what I'm seeing, and I've kind of gotten your hair tangled up a little bit, so I'm just going to go ahead and brush that out really gently. I've got this wide tooth comb here. This is really good for brushing out tangly knots. Just remembering to start at the bottom and slowly work our way up. We're not in a rush to get your hair done, so just relax as I comb out some of these big knots. It does feel kind of nice to have someone else do your hair. You could always do this stuff at home, but I find it's just really relaxing when you have a friend or someone you trust to brush out your hair. Okay. Alright. So we're kind of getting some of those knots that I created out. And while we're doing that, I'm noticing a little bit of damage on this purple layer. So I'm thinking like a repairing conditioner might be really nice. Yeah, maybe like a leave-on mask too. Okay. So that's a little bit better now. I'm going to use this little metal tool here just to really make sure there's no little white heads or anything like that underneath the surface. So I'm just going to pull the hair apart and just gently check the scalp. For any inconsistencies or little ingrown hair sometimes. Luckily, it seems like your hair is very, very healthy because you actually have a little bit too little oil. You thankfully don't have any white heads that I could find. So now I thought we could do maybe like a little cleansing treatment. I have just this really simple foam wash, and I can just apply it on the top of your head and just kind of brush it in. It should feel real cooling and nice. That sounds good. Okay, excellent. So I'm just going to put some foam there and then just brush, 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 brush it all in. You can feel the cooling sensation. Okay. Let's just get another section here. Just like that. We're just going to carefully divide it. Going to hold this section over here with a clip so we can apply some cleansing foam and just brush it in. Perfect. I can flip this back over. Same thing on the other side. Just pulling a section. Trying to take an even section here, but it doesn't need to be perfect. And just flipping that over, holding it with our comb so that we can apply some foam. Brush, brush, brush that in. Just cleansing the follicles of your hair. Getting a really deep clean. Okay. And lay this back over. So you can already feel how clean and nice that is. And we can help distribute it a little bit with this nice steam. Just making sure it spreads to all of your root areas, absorbs fully. Okay, so now that we've done the cleaning, I think we can move on to a few treatments now. So the first one I had in mind is this spray-on treatment. It's really nice, it smells super good, and it's going to help your hair repair some of this damage from the color. So I'm just going to start by spraying it in. It just smells so nice. Just need to get it under different parts of your hair. So lifting this up, spraying under there, lifting it up, spraying, just getting the hair saturated in this nice treatment, getting your roots done, some over here. Great job. And this will also help condition your hair, which will make it a little bit easier to brush through. So that's really important. Okay. Now the next treatment that I had in mind is specifically to treat your roots. So we can just apply it right to your hair. It's got this perfect applicator tip here. So we just need to make sure the product's all on the bottom. And we're just applying a little bit at a time, and massage it into your scalp and your roots. Yeah, I really like the smell of this product too. I think it's like peony, you know, the flower. So just putting in. You're already feeling relaxed. That's really wonderful. Just going to apply a little bit more. Just applying it and gets into your scalp. A little bit over here. Perfect. So this is the first of a couple treatments. This one's going to target your scalp and your hair roots and the follicles that your hair grows out of. Yeah, promotes growth and oil production. Yeah, a little bit of oil production is good. So it keeps your hair shiny. So we've got that one all done. And now I wanted to move on to this conditioning solution. This one's kind of more for your hair, but I'm still going to massage it in so that it gets the hair even on your roots. Just going to start by spraying it in. And I think I'm going to use this brush to help me comb the solution through your hair to make sure it all gets evenly distributed. So just pulling out some hair, spraying it down, and brushing it through. Yeah, just like that. Making sure we get underneath the hair. Purple sections combed as well. I think this smells my favorite of all. It's like marshmallow roux. It's so sweet and sugary, but kind of creamy at the same time. So just applying some more. Combing it through, you can feel how conditioning this one is. Your hair is just becoming really easy to brush through now. All of the big knots are gone. And applying a little bit to the ends here. Just brushing it through again. See the places that haven't gotten any yet. Just gonna work that in to those areas and gently brush through them until no more tangles remain. Looks like you've got a little bit of a tricky knot here. Gently pulling it through, separating out hair as it becomes untangled. Almost got it. Just a few more strands to go. Perfect. We're just going to put some in the back here. Just work that in. Just getting it all the way through, all the way to the end. Just bring it down. Pulling it. Just like this. I just can't believe how beautiful your hair is. I really like the color. I always have a hard time knowing what colors would look good on me. Like I'm never ready to commit. Yeah, I feel like the black and white just goes with everything. If you know what colors you look best in, why not get your hair in those colors, right? So now, just applying it on this side now, and brushing it through. You can see some of these bigger tangles here that require a little bit of special attention. We can just apply the solution directly to that area, and that'll help us. There we go. Pull that knot out. that we can just brush through easily. How are you feeling? Pretty relaxed? That's great. It's kind of relaxing for me too to be working on such nice hair. Okay. It's looking really sleek and strengthened, but I think there's one more leave-in treatment that I can send you home in, and you can wash it out in a couple hours. Yeah, I think it does best when left on for as long as possible. If you wanted to, you could even sleep with it on. You know, put on a hat or something. Okay. So, I'm just gonna start out by spraying your hair down with some water. This just makes sure that everything got saturated correctly. Then all the strands are ready to accept the mask. If there's any dry spots, the mask may not fully penetrate there. So I'm just going to lift up the hair. Perfect. So I'm going to use this brush to work in the product. And I was just going to use like a little mask that I mixed together and just apply it onto your head. Yeah, it doesn't smell too bad, but it does have a little bit of a weird smell. But trust me, this stuff is the best. So I've mixed up the product here. And I'm just going to start by putting it in your hair. It's easier, I think, to start underneath. So what I'm going to do is just go like this and clip your hair right over here. So I can apply this nice hair mask, okay? So I'm just putting it in. I'm going to get both the underside and the side up here. Just applying it. Great job. Take about half of that like this. And now we can apply just a little bit here. You're just starting with your roots, and then I'm going to go back around and get the long bits. So just taking this. And applying it. So now that that's mixed in, I'm just going to go ahead and rub it into your hair. Make sure it's evenly distributed. We don't want any areas that have too much buildup or areas that didn't get saturated. So just rubbing this over the area, just when helps to work it in without messing up your hair too much. Okay, so we've got one side. Now let's try to do the other. So just taking a little layer like this and our little clip, just clipping it on. We're going to take our mix here, just get a little bit on our brush so we can apply it here just like this. Oh, you smell it now? Yeah, it's definitely a little bit unsavory, but you know, the things we do for beauty, huh? So just taking this, getting a little bit more of a mix here, and just applying it. Finally, that last little piece there, I'm just going to take a little bit more and apply it all up top, just like this. Just working it into the hair, a little bit back here. Okay, that feels pretty saturated. So same thing as the other side. I'm just going to work this brush in. Make sure that everything's as saturated as it can be. Yeah, this brush is really soft. So it feels kind of like a massage treatment on your head. Okay, so now we can get just some of the long ends, saturate that in the solution. So what we need to do is get up a little bit more, and then take this strand here, just apply it all along the length, and then just work that in. Into the ends to they become fully saturated with it. There we go. Yes, this mask is perfect for your hair. I think it'll help heal some of the damage from the hair dye, and shouldn't leave you too dry or too oily. The scalp treatment that we did earlier will kind of help you produce the right amount of oil. But until we get that fixed, we just want your hair to have a little bit of hydration too. So if your hair feels a little bit oily after you rinse this out, that's alright. You can just give it a quick gentle shampoo. We've got it almost all the way. I'm just going to put a little bit more just at the back here. Just using up the last little bits. we have. Don't want to waste any. Just scooping it all up. Applying it here. And rubbing it. Yeah, I can already tell that your hair is gonna really love this. Just remember to leave it in as long as possible. Overnight if you can. Otherwise, just rinse it out tonight before bed. You'll still get some really great effects from it. It might form a little bit of a cast on your hair in the morning. Your hair might feel crunchy. As soon as you rinse it off, it'll reveal that silky smooth hair beneath, okay? Alright. Well, thank you so much again for coming over. I hope that was really relaxing for you. Definitely helped me get a little bit of practice in. And I just love spending time with you. So I'll let you know how my final goes, and send me pics of your hair tomorrow. Alright, bye-bye.